Yo, 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 Multiplier here. Today, quick little tutorial, and it's all about how to check the loudness of your tracks. So this is something you should literally be doing every time you kind of finish a master, just to basically see that your track is sufficiently loud. Because if it's not sufficiently loud, people aren't really going to play it, people aren't going to like it, it's just not going to sound very good. So as annoying as it is, there definitely is kind of like a sufficient level of loudness you do kind of need to be hitting if you want to have your tracks sit alongside everything else people are putting out. So cool stuff. So yeah, how do you check it? Well, it's quite difficult to check it actually in Ableton Live itself, simply because the kind of level meters don't really tell you how loud it is, and even if you've kind of got a little plug-in to measure RMS or something, that doesn't really tell you very accurately how loud it is either, simply because if you have a lot of bass in it, that will push the RMS levels up, but of course higher frequencies kind of we perceive to be louder than bass frequencies, so it kind of it's not really how loud we perceive it, although RMS is a lot better than nothing. So the best way I found to check loudness is to basically use the auto gain algorithms that are built into Traktor Pro 2. So you may have seen my video a while back where I told you to use Traktor to kind of have a look at the waveforms in Traktor to kind of see if they look right, because they're a really good way of kind of checking the waveforms with all these colors and all that kind of cool stuff. But yeah, the auto gain is something that I use on every single track I finish, just to make sure that it's loud enough. So how does it work? Well, let's load up a track from, let's say, the Loudness is a Scientist playlist. So let's try Fuck You All The Time Slow-Mo Remix. Drag it in. Sometimes you need to drag it in twice just for the auto gain kind of settings to kind of work. Don't know why that is. But yeah, so we dragged in our track. Then we go over to the gain knob. And then we're going to go down to this little button next to gain. We're going to click it. And then it's going to go orange. And then this number here is basically the auto gain setting that Traktor has given it. So what Traktor does if you have auto gain set up is it tries to compensate for the fact that all these different tracks are different loudnesses. So it measures how loud they are, and then it kind of turns them up or turns them down, so that when you just kind of drag them out, you don't need to worry about adjusting the track's relative levels yourself. So with that in mind, you can kind of understand how the bigger this number is, the quieter your track is. So really loud tracks are in the minus dBs, and it goes down to pretty much -5, even just over -5 if you've got some crazy, crazy loud dubstep or something. But yeah. And what I probably recommend is, no matter what genre you're making, pick, say, 10 tracks. You should have 10 tracks. Just drag them in. So just pick another one maybe. I'm not even sure if it's the same genre or not. This isn't my playlist. Drag it in. Click the button again, and then you can see a different loudness level. So yeah, do this tons of times for your different genre, and you'll really get a feel for kind of what level is acceptable in terms of loudness, and kind of what level is advisable. Because obviously, if you make it louder than everything else in your genre, yes, it's going to be louder, and louder is scientifically better, but it's kind of not going to sound as good, and people are just going to end up turning it down a bit. So what I personally recommend is try to sit around the middle in terms of loudness of other tracks in your genre. So if you're talking dubstep, you're going to want to be around -2.5 dB to -3 dB, at least based on current dubstep, that kind of bro steppy kind of stuff. Any quieter, it's not really going to be loud enough. Any louder than say -3 dB, and you basically, unless you're Rob Swire from Knife Party, you're really not going to have a good sounding track, because to get it much louder than -3 dB, it requires you to flatten it pretty heavily, so you're going to lose all those dynamics, and you don't really need it any louder than -3 dB, unless of course you're Rob from Knife Party. So cool stuff. And so pretty much, yeah, drag up a load of tracks from genres, check these kind of minus or plus dB levels, and remember, the lower the number, the louder it is. The higher the number, the quieter it is, and you really get a feel for kind of a sufficient level of loudness. But if you're feeling a bit lazy and can't be asked, I'd say for kind of house music, Maybe 0.5 dB is about the lowest level quietest you want it. Maybe 1 dB at a push if it's kind of slightly more minimally and it's just exclusively for the club. If it's kind of like electro house, prog house, you're talking maybe minus 1 dB, minus 1.5 dB is kind of your minimum level. And yeah, as I said, dubstep, you're talking maybe minus 2.5 is what I personally call my kind of minimum level of loudness for dubstep. So yeah, that's that. Quick little tip. Probably didn't end up very quick. 5 minutes. That's pretty quick for me. But yeah, if you don't have Traktor Pro 2, get the demo. I think you can still do this in the demo. And if Traktor isn't doing what you want with regards to kind of showing you the auto gain settings, you might have to kind of go into system preferences and can't remember where, and just make sure the auto gain's turned on and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm sure you can figure it out once you're kind of aware that you can check loudness like this. So game changing. So yeah. Cool things. I've been Multiplier. Quick little tip. Yeah, hit me up if you have any more tutorial suggestions. Sweet.